Spurgeon, in his autobiography, tells a lovely story from his ministry in Waterbeach. It was before he was in London, when he was just a baby preacher. And in Waterbeach, he says there was this lady that he called Mrs. Much Afraid. He says, I feel quite sure she has been many years in heaven, but she is always fearing that she should never enter the gates of glory. He's looking back on this years later. She was very regularly in her attendance at the house of God and was a wonderfully good listener. She used to drink in the gospel, but nevertheless, she was always doubting and fearing and trembling about her own spiritual condition. She'd been a believer in Christ, I should think, for 50 years. Yet she'd always remained in that timid, fearful, anxious state. She was a kind old soul, ever ready to help her neighbors, to speak a word to the unconverted. She seemed to me to have enough grace for 2 people. Yet in her own opinion, she had not half enough grace for 1. One day when I was talking with her, she told me that she had not any hope at all. She had no faith. She believed that she was a hypocrite. So Spurgeon said to her, then don't come to chapel anymore. We don't want hypocrites here. Why do you come? She answered, I come because I can't stop away. I love the people of God. I love the house of God, and I love to worship God. Spurgeon said, well, you're an odd sort of hypocrite. You're a strange kind of unconverted woman. She sighed. You may say what you please, but I have not any hope of being saved. So Spurgeon said to her, well, next Sunday, I'll let you go into the pulpit, that you may tell the people that Jesus Christ is a liar and that you cannot trust him. I don't know that this is like a certified biblical counseling situation, but personally, I like it. Let you get in the pulpit and you can tell everybody Jesus is a liar and you can't trust him. Oh, she cries. I would be torn in pieces before I would say such a thing as that. Why, he cannot lie. Every word he says is true. Spurgeon says, then, why do you not believe it? And she replied, I do believe it, but somehow I do not believe it for myself. I'm afraid whether it is for me. And Spurgeon says, have you not any hope at all? No, she answered. So Spurgeon pulls out his wallet and says to her, now I have £5 here. It's all the money I have, but I'll give you that £5 for your hope if you'll sell it to me. She looked at Spurgeon, wondering what he meant. Why, she exclaimed, I would not sell it for 1,000 worlds. Spurgeon says she had just told me that she had not any hope of salvation, yet she would not sell it for 1,000 worlds. I fully expect, Spurgeon continued to reflect on this sweet lady, I fully expect to see that good old soul when I get to heaven. And I'm certain she will say to me, oh, dear sir, how foolish I was when I lived down there at Waterbeach. I went groaning all the way to glory when I might just as well have gone there singing. I was always troubled and afraid, but my dear Lord kept me by his grace and brought me safely here.